Hello out there, all you styrene users and abusers. George coming to you again from the annex at Kitchen Table Scale Models with another episode of Off the Wall. This episode is gonna feature three kits, each one of which has they're all old bills, and each one has kind of an interesting story. Well, one isn't quite an old bill, but it is, and I'll get into that. I'm going to start with this one. This is an AMT 49 Mercury. This kit built box stock as a curbside. And the story behind this kit, I guess it was probably somewhere maybe around 1990 or so. Our cousin Betsy in Mystic, Connecticut, was working at the time selling advertising for a local access cable channel, and I got a call from Betsy, and she said, "George, can you help me? I know you build models, and I'm trying to put together a commercial for an insurance agency whose first car that they insured was a 49 Mercury, and I want to find a model of a 49 Mercury." I said, "Well, okay, there's a bunch out there you could buy." I think at the time Franklin Mint had one, and Danbury Mint, in Connecticut, had one. But for some reason, none of them were available. So, she called me back and said, "I don't know what to do." And I said, "Well, how quickly do you need one?" And I don't know what day of the week it was, but basically it was like she needed it in Connecticut the following week. And I said, "Well, I've got one I can put together for you. And I'll slam it together and send it to you." And that's kind of the story on this model. It is a again, stock 49 Ford, built as a curbside. I've got it fastened to this display. I'm not going to take it off. The paint on this, I used Duplicolor because I wanted something that was gonna dry quickly. I noticed getting a little bit of schmutz in that paint as it gets older. The one thing on this build you really can't tell. This was done, when I was working in the basement of a row home. It actually came out quite well. I mean, I got some schmutz on the windshield, but that's par for the course with most of my builds. But the one unusual thing about this build is I knew I needed to get this paint to dry fast so I can get it together. And I put it underneath, I don't know, 100-watt light bulb or something, and you can see I got a little dimple in the roof. But it's really a fine-looking car, and it built up nice. Really happy with the way it came out. I finished it up, I boxed it, I shipped it off to cousin Bets, and they used it in a commercial for a small insurance agency. So that's it. That's the AMT 49 Mercury kit. The only build I've ever done was a TV star. So that's that. Now, what's next? Kind of keeping with the Mystic, Connecticut theme, and a little backstory on that. Carol's family, Carol's grandmother, lived in that area, and her family was from that area. When we first met and began dating, and as I've shared in a couple of my other views, my other videos, Carol was really encouraging and in a lot of ways responsible for me getting back into building models again. Once after we met in the mid '80s, and we eventually got married in '88. This one was built, I think, in the summer of 1987. Carol loved these old scallop-side Corvettes, in particular the 57. This is a monogram 57 kit. I did a decent job brush painting that frame, didn't I? The backstory on this build is that this build was assembled entirely, painted and assembled in its entirety, while on vacation in a cabin that her family owned right on the Long Island Sound on Mason's Island off of Mystic. I had an automobile accident. I couldn't do many of the activities I typically did when we were going to Mystic. We used to windsurf and do a lot of swimming, and I couldn't windsurf because I had a bad whiplash injury from an accident. So I said, I'm going to take a model along to build. And she said, would you build the Corvette for me? And I said, sure. So again, the story on this is this whole thing. I took this up in a box together with all the supplies I needed. At the time, I was just starting to use an airbrush. It was one of the first Badgers that I owned. At the time, I didn't have a compressor. I was using the Badger canned air, and in part, the memory of building this kit was partially responsible for inspiring me to call my Facebook channel and Facebook page and YouTube channel Kitchen Table Scale Models, because as I was looking at getting back into modeling several years ago, and stressing over not having a big workshop, which I do now, it was, some of my fondest memories of building models were building models at kitchen tables, and not even necessarily my own kitchen table at home, but in this case, at a kitchen table in a cottage overlooking the Long Island Sound. I assembled this over my week-long vacation, including all the painting. The paint is Testors number 3, with Testors Model Master Ivory in the Cove. Doesn't have much of a shine to it, and I guess that's what happens when you airbrush in a screened-in porch no more than a couple hundred feet from the Long Island Sound on a hot August day when the humidity was, in the 90s. All in all, didn't come out too bad. A little schmutz in the paint. I'm happy with the way the dashboard and the interior came out. And this thing's been sitting in a glass display case for, I don't know, probably since I built it. Looks like the antenna got broken off. Everything on the underside was brush painted. The only thing that was spray painted was the body. It really built up nice. Engine, did a little bit of detailing on the engine. You can see, I don't have my glasses on, so I can't really see too clearly here, but you did a little bit of detailing on the engine. You see I got the fuel lines, I got the fuel injection piped, got the battery cables, radiator hoses. So yeah, that's it. That's my 57 Corvette. That was assembled on a kitchen table in a vacation cabin. Put that over there. Last but not least, this is a model that completion of this model actually spanned not just 2 centuries, but 2 millennia. I actually began building this kit originally sometime in the 90s, 80s, 90s, late 80s, 90s, something like that. I got the teal color sprayed on. If I remember correctly, it came from Model Car Works, MCW paints, when they first started. This was a color that was used on the Corvettes back in the 80s, and then I think on the Camaros had it for a while, and it ended up being used on pretty much everything. I remember seeing a Beretta in it. Now I can't even get this damn hood off. There we go. So that's as far as I got in the 90s, and it ended up in a box. We moved in 98 to a new home, and my models lived packed up in storage boxes in the basement, which thankfully was heated and cooled. They all lived down there for several years until I finally a few years back decided it was time to get cracking again. And as I was going through inventorying and putting things up on shelves and stuff, I came across this kit, and it's an AMT, if I recall. It's an AMT 55 Chevy. It's not a great build, but it's a good looking build. I tried to use it was one of my first attempt at using script, the photo etch script. You can see the paint isn't perfect. I made the mistake of trying to wet sand metallic, and that's, as I recall, is what led to me just saying screw it and put it away in a box. I like the way the mag wheels came in on this, with the darker gray on the inserts, or the centers. But again, when I put it away in 1990, I'd gone as far as the green paint, and I don't even think there was anything done on the engine. I could be wrong. Looks like I pulled a Glen and forgot to put the drive shaft in. I pulled it out, I guess about a year or so ago, and I was looking at this thing, so, maybe I could salvage this with, I don't know, just clean it up a little bit, put some clear coat on it, and figure out what I wanted to do with the back end. The original idea for the back end was to go with like an ivory color, similar to what I used on the Coves of the Corvette. But the more I started looking to say, I want to do something different with this, and this is, if I'm not mistaken, is Testors or Tamiya titanium silver acrylic, and then I think it was titanium silver acrylic. I can't remember now. But I finished throwing this thing together last winter, and it's not a great model, but I made the decision to make the best of what I had, and given what I started with last year, the way this thing came out of the box, the way the paint looked, I think overall it came out looking pretty good. I just noticed the grill is in crooked. Go figure. And I think I put and it looks like I put the bumpers, the little Nerf bumpers on. I know are they right? One of them looks like it's up, looks like they're reversed, but I could not for the life of me to get the stock bumper to attach anywhere. So I decided to cheat, and I just took the little bumperettes and attached them to the frame horns where they came out. Did add a mirror, and I used the little photo etch trim back here. Unfortunately, the photo etch on this part has come off already, and so yeah, that's my '55 Chevy. That's the build of 2 millennia. So let's fly them up here. There's the 55. There's the 58. And last but not least, the 49. So, I want to thank you for watching. Again, they're not great builds, but they were fun builds, and they all have some, like a lot of my older builds, and I think like a lot of modelers, all modelers of older builds, they all embody some fun memories of doing things and doing old builds, and the times and the places and the experiences you were having around that time. I remember taking side trips while we were in Connecticut up to Providence, Rhode Island, while I was building this, and not Providence, Newport, and doing a tour of all the mansions up there and stuff. It was fun stuff. So that's it. I've bored you enough with my autobiographical babble, and I will let you all go back to building, and as Lucas says, gluing your fingers together and cutting your toenails off or something like that. And again, thank you all for watching. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, you don't need to do anything. If you like it a lot, please subscribe, and tell your friends. Thanks. Bye.